So Joe Dispenza said, every time you learn something new, you make a new connection in your brain. And that's what we're talking about today, how to tame your tongue to transform your tomorrow using the power of the story. Now remember, the story is what keeps you stuck. And if a story can keep you stuck, it can get you unstuck. We're going to walk through the process of taming that tongue, taming the words that you use so that you can transform your tomorrow. I'm Coach Valj U, glad to have you here. So let's talk about story. A story is an account of imaginary or real people or events. It's also an account of past events in someone's life or the evolution or the evolving of something. See, again, it's that story that halts forward progress. And remember, a story is just the words that we speak. So think about it this way. When you say, well, I really want to get that promotion, but the boss doesn't like me, or this person has more experience than me, or what if they don't like me? What if I don't get the promotion and I go back and I'm still one of the employees and they're mad at me because I tried to get the promotion? Or what if I don't get the promotion, but I told everybody that I was going for it and then I have to deal with the embarrassment? All stories. The way that you tell those stories, the stories that you tell will dictate whether you move forward. And by move forward, I don't mean you get a certain outcome. I mean you move forward in terms of the experience that you have. Or you stay stuck, stalled, stagnant, stopped. So in other words, if you let the story talk you out of doing something that you want to do, regardless of the outcome, you're not going to allow yourself to grow. You're going to allow yourself to cower down to the very words that you are speaking to yourself. That's the power of a story. And again, the definition itself says imaginary or real people and events. Oftentimes the stories that we tell ourselves are imaginative. We've created this whole land in our mind and we're acting it in our current reality as though it is real. When we learn to stop doing that, we can truly shift our lives, or at least when we learn how to redirect the story, reframe the story, reprocess the story, tell a new story that supports our forward progress. That is a skill set that anybody can learn, but you need to have the conscious awareness that you're doing it in the first place so that you can make the adjustment. So it's just words, but it's pretty powerful words. So again, your story keeps you stuck, which means your story can also unstuck you because words create worlds. The words that you speak create the experience that you have in the world. So in essence, a word does create the world. If you keep telling yourself certain things, you're going to summon the experience, or you're going to become the filter through which you experience the very thing that you said. You see, that's the power of the words that we speak. And when we speak those words, they become the habitual way that we process things. I think Joe Dispenza used an example of how we use situations and scenarios to support the addiction that we have. He used the example of a boss that is an unkind boss, supports our story in our addiction to being treated unkind, or the victim mentality. Because we've told ourselves a story over and over that I'm the victim, that things happen to me, not that I go in and create things, but things happen to me. And so when somebody says or does something that can be created, that one person can see as neutral, one person can see as nothing, and one person can see as something, depending on the story that you tell yourself. So if the story says that's a bad thing, you're going to see it as a bad thing, you're going to experience it as a bad thing, and you're going to process it from the lens of that's bad, they did something to me. So either I'm going to retaliate or I'm going to cower and assume the role of victim, which keeps my life small, stagnant, and stuck. Are you beginning to see the power of the words that you speak? Because they create the world, the reality that you live in. Now stick around because you want to get this next point that'll shift everything for you in the proper perspective of what you're creating or not creating for your life. So let's talk about those words. Words, this is an acronym for words. It can have one or two meanings. Words. You look at this, there's the world. The world in which you inhabit is created by the words that you speak, the words that you obey. I should say it that way. The words that you speak, the words that you obey. So words can be wonderful opportunities in your reality that decide if you're going to experience success or not. Whoa, wait a minute. You mean to tell me words are deciding if I'm going to experience success? Yes, of course they are. Because if you go into an interview saying, I know they're not going to hire me, I know they're not going to hire me, I know they're not going to hire me, your demeanor shows up in a space of unhireable. Your cadence, your walk, your energy shows up in that capacity. Now you go in saying, I've got what it takes. I'm an awesome candidate. I check all the boxes of what they said they needed. I'm an asset to any company. I have something. This is a mutual exchange. Again, your cadence, your walk shows that. The way you show up shows that. The handshake that you offer shows that. The way that you look at the people that are interviewing you shows that. See, you are causing your reality. I think Nancy Duarte said, the future isn't a place you get to, it's a place you create. Well, how do you create it? By the words. You're either issuing wonderful opportunities in your reality that decide if you're going to experience success or not, or wonderful, wicked obstacles in your reality that decide that you're not going to experience success. You see, you are constantly, unequivocally, hopefully unapologetically in the seat of power if you understand how to tame the words that you speak. Now, tame means to willing to cooperate, to domesticate, to make less powerful and easier to control. See, we live in this prison of the words that we speak. Funny thing is, we're the judge, we're the warden, we're the prisoner, we're the keys. We're all of those things in one. Depending on the words, I say we are our obstacle and our opportunity, depending on how we show up, depending on how we use the power of that wonderful tongue by way of the words that we decide, that we choose, that we present from ourselves to the world. Get this acronym and store it in your soul. So when you start using words, you start, wait, am I creating wonderful opportunities in my reality that decide if I'm going to experience success? Because I want to experience success. I'm choosing to experience success. So it only makes sense that I align my thoughts, words, and actions, specifically my words, with my desired end result. That's how you tame your words. That's part of it. But again, stick around because the next part really goes in detail in how you tame those words. So here's an example of the world that you create with the words. If you walk around saying, oh man, I hate this. I'm so afraid to. I don't know how to do this or that. It's so hard. It's so hard to grow. It's so hard to heal. It's so hard to move forward. Or I can't. I can't do it. I every time I get ready to start doing it, I just can't. Or you say, I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this. Side note, I started my social media at 48 years old. As of the time of this recording in 2024, I'm 51 and a half. I used to tell myself I was too old when I was in my 40s. When I was in my 40s, I told myself I'm too old. I'm in my 50s now. I created a world, not that the world was telling me this. I was telling me this. I was instructing the world how to treat me by the words that I was speaking. So when you say words like this, you create high resistance. And if you have high resistance, you have low action. You may do it once or twice, but it's not going to be sustainable if every single time you've got to do something. You've got to convince yourself. You've got to fight with yourself. You've got to beg, plead, borrow, steal, just to get you to move. You might do it once or twice. This is why New Year's resolutions last for the first few weeks, and then you go back to what your normal world is. We're changing that. So high resistance, low action when you allow yourself to speak that way. But what happens when you change the words? So instead of I hate this, I'm open to finding the good in this. Instead of I'm afraid, I can feel the fear and do it anyway. Instead of I don't know, you say, well, I can find out. I'm good at finding things out. Or it's so hard, I can find something in this that I'm able to do with ease and flow. There's something in this that I can do. I can do it. I think, I can't remember his name, but he said, inch by inch, it's a cinch. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. So in other words, if I'm trying to run the whole 100 yards, yeah, it might be difficult. But if I can get to the first yard, and the next yard, and the next yard. Y'all know that's how football is won. Get to the next yard. If I can get there. You see, that's using the power of the word to create, to decide to experience success. Or I'm too old, too young. This is the best time for me in this current season, in current situations and circumstances. The idea came to me. If the idea came to me, it knows something about me, I'm going to run with it. And so when you decide, because this is all a decision, the words that you are speaking are decided by you. That's the privilege of being grown. So if you decide to use these words, whichever sect of words you decide, they have an outcome. They have consequences. They create your world experience. So if you use those, I hate this and I'm afraid, your resistance is high, your actions are low. If you shift that, if you reframe those words, if you allow yourself to create a world that has you moving forward, has you evolving, has you doing things in a certain way that allow you to experience the quality of life you desire, then you increase your actions. You increase your actions, they become habitual. The habits make and form your destiny. So you want to hear this last part. The quality of your life is determined by the words that you use. Whether the words you use tame you, or whether you tame the words you use. So QL equals WTY is smaller than or less than YTW. In other words, the words tame you, or you tame the words. How do you tame the words? Because the words create the story, and the story determines if you're stuck, stalled, stagnant, or if you're growing, evolving, leveling up. So how do you tame the words? First off, the conscious awareness that you're doing it. But this is a specific process. Define, select, and create. Define the words that you use. So when you say I'm stuck, literally get to the definition, get to the dictionary and define the word stuck. You can select an alternative word if needed. Maybe stuck, after you've looked at the definition, stuck doesn't exactly describe it. Find the word that describes your right now moment. You're not judging yourself. You're not blaming yourself. You're not critiquing yourself. You're allowing yourself what is. Very simple. You're allowing yourself to experience whatever it is that you're experiencing. You're just naming it to tame it. It's a lot easier to fight an opponent when you can see it, when you can see the opponent. So define the word that you use and select an alternative if needed. Then you're going to create an acronym that points to using the word in a radically different way that takes the sting out of it. In my YouTube, in my shorts, I have a whole slew of different words that I've created acronyms for that take the sting out of the word, that shift the definition of the word so that you can help reframe the word, so that you can have conscious awareness of the word you're using, so that you can shift the word, so that you can shift your behavior, which shifts your habits, which shifts your results, which shifts and improves the quality of your life. It starts with the words that you use. It starts with how you use the words. It starts with why you use the words. You see, the way that you use the words will do one of two things. Will make success run from you or run to you. If you want success to run to you, define the words that you use. Select an alternative if needed. Create an acronym that points to the word in a radically different way. And if you're not good at creating acronyms, go to my page, go to my shorts, look through the ones. You'll see a slew of them. I'll probably have 300 or 400 different ones before a couple of months is out. So you can look through those, watch those, adopt that new process, and then run with it. You're changing the story. And when you change the story, you change your life. You get to do that, not anybody else. You get to do that. Because again, a story is what keeps you stuck. Tell a new story so that it unstucks you, so that you can experience forward progress. I'll leave you with this. This is a new story to give you, for you to say, for you to sell yourself on it, for you to repeat it, because repetition breeds belief. In any season, situation, circumstance, person, place, or thing, there is a path forward. If I focus on the path forward, I'll find it. If I find the path forward, I'll take it. If I take the path forward, I will experience forward progress. And if I keep experiencing forward progress, I can't help but experience my desired end result. Come back, make sure you subscribe, because these little simple micro lessons are available to you at any time. Thank you.